Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Democrats tried, believe it or not, to impeach President Trump for the third time, Impeachment 3.0, and it was a cataclysmic failure. It was just the most disappointing, sad, pathetic attempt at trying to impeach somebody who just won the popular vote several months back. So in November, he wins the popular vote, and then in May, when they claim that his poll numbers are tanking, they can't muster up enough political will within their party, a political party that absolutely despises President Trump. There's no political will to actually try to impeach him because he did nothing wrong. There was no reason to impeach him the first two times. He didn't try to rebel or foment a rebellion against the country. And he certainly had nothing to do with the Kremlin or interference from another country. That was Democrats with the Steele dossier. But hit subscribe to this channel. We'll get to exactly why impeachment. You might not even have heard of the impeachment effort, but it completely failed. Hit subscribe. Let's get started.
Whether you like him or not. And we've got 3.5 more years of it. Neil Ferguson writes this: Donald Trump is crushing his to-do list. One day historians will refer to this as the most consequential to-do list in American history. In the first 100 days back in the White House, Donald Trump has crushed that list. You cannot accuse him of overpromising and undelivering. And Dana just ticked off a number of things that we have seen. Meanwhile, you've got the other side. And it really seems like old dog, same tricks. This is a congressman from Michigan filing charges of impeachment against Donald Trump.
Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. In this country, we have presidents, not kings. That's not just misconduct, it's impeachable misconduct. This isn't leadership, it's tyranny.
So I imagine if
So the 9-0 ruling stated that Trump should facilitate the return of the individual. Facilitate. Who was undocumented and accused of committing crimes. Okay, the individual now is in El Salvador, and President Nayib Bukele refused to bring him back to the United States of America, okay, because it's against the laws of his own country. So President Bukele is following the laws of his own country, and President Trump was following the laws of his country as well. Democrats, that's a whole other story. But there are laws that exist in the United States of America. President Trump is actually enforcing them. If he used the Alien Enemies Act, and now he can't, that doesn't mean he's not enforcing them. If the laws state very specifically, if you're undocumented and you committed crimes, then the president, then you almost certainly will be removed from the country. These are the laws that currently exist. When Democrats say, well, due process, they want an endless string of court dates. Almost always what takes place is that the individual, if the individual is undocumented, perhaps possibly committed a crime, has an initial court date that they never go to, thus making due process into this endless series of court dates that are never followed up. But let's continue. And so that's how Democrats say, oh, Trump and due process. And so they're not really telling you exactly what's going on. But the Supreme Court stated that Trump should facilitate the return. But now the individual is in the country where he was born. So that's not possible. But anyway, let's continue.
Donald Trump's watching that, he'd probably say something like, is that the best you got? And this play was run several times the first time around, Britt, as you know.
Yeah, that thing's not going anywhere. I mean, those remarks you just played they fall in the category of things the world will little note nor long remember. They almost seem slightly comical. This is going to be a controversial and turbulent presidency. It has been off to perhaps the fastest start of any we've ever seen. He was doing everything everywhere all at once, and doing that on the strength of a slender but convincing victory. So it's an ambitious agenda, such as we've never seen, as as Niall Ferguson's piece suggests, not all of it has come to fruition. A lot of it is balls in the air right now. And that's kind of where we are. The president may be able to land all these airplanes he's got out there successfully, and one hopes that he will. But he hasn't yet, and that accounts for the fact that his poll numbers have declined to some extent.
Britt Hume, thank you so much for.
So the poll numbers have declined primarily because, again, you have 24/7 negative media coverage, but also tariffs are important to bring manufacturing jobs back into the United States of America, something that Democrats ran on. Bernie Sanders, President Obama ran on bringing manufacturing jobs back to the country. So we build things, so we don't outsource all of our jobs to China and other countries, and also because other countries in the world are not treating us fairly in terms of trade. So the working class that AOC seems to really care about, the working class that Bernie Sanders and Democrats, claim to love so much, benefit greatly when manufacturing in a number of industries that have completely left the United States of America, when there's a resurgence. This isn't rocket science. Okay, the Democratic Party and the Never Trump Republicans that still exist, they've given up. They have simply stated Americans won't do certain jobs, and we just have to outsource almost every industry to other countries. And then they say, well, Democrats say, well, you can't cut social safety nets. Well, which one is it? You wanna address the issues, the core issues that create poverty? You want to keep social safety nets? Great. Yes, you have to do that. And then you want to do nothing in terms of bringing manufacturing jobs and bringing jobs back to the country and making sure that other countries buy American goods and products and food. You can't just simply allow, artificial intelligence robots to take over the country in just a couple of years, or 10 or 20, 15 years. What's going to happen to a labor force that isn't in technology? So Trump is doing everything possible to actually help the working class that Democrats care so much about. He's doing everything possible to end poverty. We had record low poverty with Trump's first term in office, record highs in household median income. You bring manufacturing back into the United States of America and you reset global trade. It's better for people who are trying to escape poverty. It's better for lower income areas around the country, especially if you get manufacturing and other industries back into those areas. But anyway, that's another story. That's another topic. But Trump is delivering, ladies and gentlemen. He's delivering. He won the popular vote because, very simply, and it's interesting, NPR, Trump gets less than 50% in the popular vote. And then CNN, it's official. Clinton swamps Trump in popular vote. Oh, what's this? Yeah, she got less than 50% also. But she had the entire DNC cheating Bernie Sanders, just like they cheated Biden. Okay. But you have, and then in all of American media, Trump gets the popular vote, ladies and gentlemen, first president, first GOP's first popular vote in 20 years. Okay. He's enforcing immigration. Basically, what he's doing is he wants to end a global conflict, number one. Number two, he's enforcing immigration laws. And number three, he's bringing manufacturing back to the country and addressing trade issues that should have been addressed for years upon years. Okay. Democrats were running on bringing jobs back that were outsourced. They were doing that and Republicans. This is why the Never Trump Republicans is kind of hilarious. I listened to. I'm not going to tell you who, but there's like these little like these very amusing Never Trump Republicans. I listen to them only to hear. I listen to left-leaning pundits also to hear the absurd nonsense. And it's like The Never Trump Republicans and the Democratic Party, they never give their voters what their voters wanted, especially Democrats. Never. Trump is delivering, which is, if the poll numbers go down a little because people are, there are businesses that the tariffs have hurt, even people who love Trump. Okay, the difference is that people who love Trump and their businesses are hurting, they understand why Trump is doing it, to make the country stronger. And this is something Democrats don't get. The Democratic Party doesn't understand a politician that actually represents for his voters, which is what Trump does, which is why the impeachment completely failed. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Trump 3.0 is no longer. God forbid. Trump impeachment 3.0 is no longer. Hit subscribe. Thank you.